Hola, ¿qué tal a todos? Hoy tenemos una entrevista bastante especial. En este dojo vamos a entrevistar a mi amigo Zengei. Esta entrevista va a ser en inglés, pero no se preocupen, voy a poner subtítulos. Así que espero que disfruten la entrevista. Hello everybody, today with me I'm having Zengei Sempai, a very interesting person that's doing some really cool stuff here in VRChat. Hello Zengei.
Hello, Rico. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you very much. So let's start with the first question. Could you share with us your background?
Sure. Um, well, my background starts quite humbly. I come from a very modest family. I'm from the province of Quebec in Canada. And very young, I think I wanted to change my family's destiny. I wanted to do something significant to contribute and help my parents. And that's how I basically became an entrepreneur. I was drawn towards a high-tech field, so I started as a programmer and ended up pretty much everything you could think of in information technology. So, tech work, sound engineering, programming, e-commerce, name it, I think I've done it. And I worked very hard because I had no money to start my first business, so it was pretty much a 20 hours a day assignment.
Wow.
And I think if we want to relate it to today's topic, all of this hard work gave rise to stress and anxiety and insomnia, even some heart and blood pressure problems very early on, like in my 20s.
Damn.
Severe problems because of that, because I was not taking good care of myself. And I have discovered actually meditation. While trying to self-hypnose myself, I was looking into meditation and relaxation techniques. So I came upon Buddhist meditation and then Buddhism. And that's kind of how I got started. So I cured these problems in a record time. Like, they had been there for many years with me in a matter of just a few months. No more stress, no more anxiety, no more insomnia. And I became very convinced that those mind teachings were very good. Nonetheless, I had to close my first business. I didn't have a lot of experience back then, and so I moved on, took a job, became an international business liaison for the government of my province, and my activities became international. So I've been in the high-tech fields ever since, in about a dozen countries, helping people.
Wow.
And I stuck to my spiritual path from then on.
So I think it's pretty interesting how you find this way through resolving problems that everybody that are so common in our nowadays society.
Yeah, and I think like the entrepreneur is the expression of what society is going through, maybe to the power of two. Because you cannot simply work 40 hours a week when you're an entrepreneur. You have to put in the extra effort, and therefore you feel more pressure. You have people depending on you, and it's just, you're challenging your body and your mind a little bit more. So I think it's even more important if you're gonna get into that sort of lifestyle to have a proper life hygiene.
So, Zengei, could you tell us how did you discover VRChat?
Sure, I'm not sure that's a very interesting story, but yeah, I will tell you.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So before the pandemic, I was working on a retreat center project to take my clients on corporate retreats, and the pandemic arrived and it changed everything. So I was working with an architect at the time, and he said, the world is changing. Everything is done virtually nowadays. Do you really need a building? Is there something that you could do in the virtual world? And I said, yeah, well, I do, because I need the exotic experience of taking people somewhere else in the world. But you do have a point that I need to take that into consideration and have some VR space, or at least augmented reality space in my retreat center. And it got me thinking. And then I remembered VRChat. I said, oh, When I first heard of it, I remember thinking of it like a conference solution. Like you could meet virtually, almost like in Zoom, and speak with people. So that's kind of the idea that I had about it. But then I thought, okay, let's see if I can connect, and let's see if we could teach, if we could actually impart some material to people in virtual reality. So I connected and thought I was coming up with something new. Asked people around, what would you think about a virtual class in VR? And they said, oh, been there, done that. We can learn sign language here, we can learn Japanese, we can learn all kinds of things.
Yeah.
And it was done on a small scale, but I thought it was wonderful, and it kind of convinced me that my project could be done here. So that's what got me to create the account in VRChat, and I've been here ever since.
Wow, that's really really cool as a way of discovering the full world of VRChat. Just to share my story with you, I discovered VRChat while I was looking for a job. I was jobless, so I had some time to spend on the internet. And the Uganda Knuckles meme, I don't know if you know it, but became very popular, and I found it just so funny, so nice and refreshing, because there's something very interesting about this meme in particular. Because do you know it? You know this meme?
Not really. I must confess that I'm too green still. I have much to learn. I've been here like 2 weeks and a half. So, I have some catching up to do.
Don't worry. But just let me tell you that in 2017, there was this character coming from a franchise of Nintendo. You know Sonic the Hedgehog? Sonic the Hedgehog have a friend in his franchise that's named Knuckles. So basically, someone did an ugly version of Knuckles, and it became very, very popular here in VRChat. And they always ask one single question: do you know the way? And everybody's like, which way? What are you talking about? And basically, they invited you to their world, and you basically copy the avatar and repeat the operation. It was spreading like a disease,
Okay.
but actually for me it was very interesting, because everybody is looking for their direction in their lives, even if they don't realize that.
It's interesting because the dictionary's definition of a meme is it's actually like an anthropological artifact. It is a bit of human knowledge that spreads either through oral tradition, or it could be an object engraved, or it could be a monument, whatever, but it is an object that contains knowledge and that you can easily pass on to others. So virtual reality in a way facilitates that contamination, because people from all over the world without taking a plane can get together and indeed search for meaning together, or accomplish all kinds of things. So it facilitates the communication of information, and probably faster than platforms like Facebook or LinkedIn, because everything is done orally here, so you don't have to type everything.
Exactly.
And you kind of get a feel. They call it presence, I think, in virtual reality. So you get a feel for the other person and their emotions as well. So that also communicates something.
Exactly. And there's something that I told already with one of my friends, is that in another video, is that it's interesting, but here it works on the opposite side of normal media. Because basically on other media like Instagram or Facebook, you see the pictures of this person, you see how he looks on the exterior, and you got to get an idea of what he does based on what he shares about. But in a place like here on virtual reality, on VRChat, you don't know nothing about the person. So basically, you're really seeing, you're really interacting. I don't want to get too philosophical here, but I just some true characteristics of the person that shares with you. You are being yourself basically when you talk to people, and that's very interesting.
Yeah, it is an excellent point. I hadn't seen it like that, but I think you are absolutely right. And well, it kind of relates to why I have created this sangha. But yeah, I guess I'll tell you about it as we go.
So, what motivates you to create the Buddhist group on VRChat?
Buddhism holds a view that the world we live in is illusory, and that because we fail to perceive its true nature, we go on suffering. So, according to that view, we are often tricked by our sensory perceptions, and this phenomenon gives rise to fears and desires that wouldn't have been born otherwise. So, being stuck in our illusion of separation, we run in search of pleasure, not realizing that pain is just around the corner in a never ending cycle called samsara. The goal of Buddhist practitioners is to renounce samsara to enter nirvana, a way of existence that is free from suffering. So that's a little introduction to say that the very first time I wore a VR headset, I had a strong sense that this was like an entirely new layer of samsara. Much more vivid than just losing yourself in distractions such as movies, games, or even using psychedelics.
Yeah.
Felt kind of dangerous to me. So I could envision people running away from their family situation, their crappy apartment, or thinking about virtual reality all day long while they were at work, more eager to show up in their world of fiction than to show up in their actual life.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah. And so when I connected to VRChat, my suspicions were actually confirmed. And this may sound sad, but it's not sad. But I saw lonely people thousands of miles apart hugging each other's, creating nostalgic worlds for their friends, girls playing as boys, boys playing as girls, people asking advice about their love life, and others struggling even in this virtual world with paralyzing social anxiety. So I saw many problems, but also saw that it was like an incredible therapy. It had a lot of therapeutic potential in virtual reality. So in the same way that I used the teachings of the Buddha to cure my stress, my insomnia, and anxiety, I thought that many people could feel relieved if they were put in contact with this material. So the idea came from my perception of a need, and it seems that I was not too mistaken, because from then on, I simply asked people if they wanted to learn about Buddhist philosophy and meditation, and the response was immediately positive. So more than 100 persons supported the initiative on Facebook within a week, and now we have 50 members that have joined the group after only 2 meetings. And obviously, it's not everybody in VRChat that is in desperate needs of those teachings. Some are there just because they're curious about spirituality, others are already on the path, and others are simply following their friends to the Sangha meetings. But what matters to me is if I can help only one person with my knowledge of the teachings or my life experiences, then I definitely should. So, and another aspect of it is simply that I like it. I have spent my life working with information technologies and believe that deep down I am a natural-born teacher. I like to share what I learn with others, and to do it in VR, when I think about it, is probably my niche because of my background.
Personally, I started doing these videos because I also want to share interesting ideas that will enrich people's lives. And what a good opportunity to meet someone that's on the same wavelength. So Zengei, what's your opinion on virtual reality? You already gave us some information, but maybe you could give us some more arguments or points of view?
Yeah, well, if I don't only refer to Buddhism, I love it. I think it is absolutely amazing, and the possibilities here are endless. One aspect of reality in Buddhism is called Sambhogakaya, which is a Sanskrit word, the word that means the enjoyment body, which you could think of as the universe dancing. It is a subtle body made of moving sounds and colors and winds and activities, but not quite solid. It's like the atomic world of energy, if you will. And the technology that makes virtual reality possible reminds me very much of this body of enjoyment, because these are lights basically projected towards your eyes. They project an entire world in a very tiny space. And I have in fact decided for that reason, just yesterday, to rename our group the Sambogakaya Samga, which means that we are gathering together with our enjoyment buddies to learn about the Dharma and meditate together. So at this point, I feel it is a vast laboratory where one can experiment with pretty much everything they can think of. That being said, there is definitely a dark side to virtual reality, and we need to be extra careful not to create or not to bring about the conditions that we see in the movie The Matrix, where everyone lives in an isolated
Yes.
pod with his own version of reality being kind of force-fed to them. So as I mentioned earlier, I believe that virtual reality needs to create cohesion, not to get us all in our own special curated version of the world. It wouldn't be right if I was always in my perfect world all of the time, because I wouldn't develop any emotional resilience from this. I wouldn't learn to deal with the real world at all. So it could actually make me weaker and less flexible as a person, instead of really helping me in harnessing those therapeutic values that we. I have recently initiated a dialogue with good friends and partners about developing an entire ecosystem to help people deal with specific conditions through means completely unrelated to Buddhism. Since I am lucky enough to have access to some of the pioneers of virtual reality in healthcare, there is a strong possibility that we will move forward with this project. But it's way too early to confirm anything. What I will say, though, is that I've been collaborating with people that treated the phobias and PTSD and all kinds of conditions like that using virtual reality almost 20 years ago. So they have a very good clinical approach, but what they don't have is the customers, if you will. And I think, as I said, it's a big laboratory, and VRChat is an opportunity because there is a lot of people here. So you just basically have to set up shop and welcome them if you want to make a difference. That's kind of what I did with the Sangha. There is also some possibilities that we've been studying. There are applications to facilitate immigration in the context of an ever-accelerating globalization, and untapped possibilities for businesses that we see. But that's another story completely. So yeah, that's about it. I see that virtual reality will become another world completely, not just a recreative space, but at some point real things will happen and it will speed up. This is my opinion.
I totally agree with this. Maybe we are going to have a mixture of multiple technologies like virtual reality and or augmented reality. And it's going to become so common as smartphones nowadays, but maybe like in 10 years. We're going to see. And I think that many people are not ready for this technology, and they can get so easily absorbed by it. But that's also why I try to spread awareness about this technology through this media that I choose, because otherwise I could just do myself the videos with a camera. But I prefer this because there are good things that you can share using virtual reality, but also there's awareness of the bad things that I want to share. So Zengei, what other languages do you use to interact with people you met here in VRChat?
Well, my native language is French. I also speak Spanish and understand German increasingly well, although I'm not very good at speaking it yet. I feel it is an asset to interact with people in what I would call the international waters. It really broadens the possibilities to get to know people.
¿Hablas entonces español? Qué interesante. ¿Cómo aprendiste? ¿De dónde viene tu interés por el español?
Bueno, varios años atrás, trabajando como vínculo de negocios internacionales para mi gobierno, desarrollé un gran interés por América del Sur. Y bueno, terminé trabajando en una universidad en Ecuador donde aprendí el español. Eh, También me casé y tuve una hija allá, entonces ya tengo hasta ciudadanía ecuatoriana.
Ah, mira. Et pour le français, tu m'as dit, bon, c'est normal, dans une certaine partie du Canada, on parlait le français, non? N'est-ce pas?
En effet, ou quelque chose qui ressemble au français, qu'on appelle le québécois.
Ouais.
Évidemment, on utilise beaucoup d'anglicismes parce que on a nos voisins canadiens anglophones et aussi nos voisins du Sud aux États-Unis qui parlent anglais. Donc, toutes sortes de mots étranges que nos copains de l'Europe ne comprennent pas nécessairement. Généralement, ils nous sous-titrent dans les
Carrément? Il met des sous-titres?
Oui, oui, oui. Mais bon, ce qui est important, c'est qu'on finit par se comprendre.
Ah ouais, tout à fait. Bon. So, thank you very much, Zengei. It's been a real pleasure to have you today with us. You're going to correct me. Correct me if I'm wrong, but
No, that's fine.
if anyone on VRChat is interested in joining this group, you can do it. It's the group Sambo Gakaya Samga. Is that so?
Yes, that's it. Yep.
Yeah, I say it right. So thank you very much, and see you on the next time. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.